Hello guys, today I'm going to be discussing the top 5 best vehicles everyone should own. It's either because they're fun or they could be used for many different things, such as having fun, griefing, or money grinding, because you already know, I'm a griefer, right? I love just killing people with my heavy revolver. I'm not even a people killer with vehicles. I mainly kill people with my revolver or my sniper or whatever. You already know. My heavy sniper, my heavy revolver, heavy stuff, I always use those because they're always very efficient. I always upgrade them to the Mark II, and anyways, that's not the topic of the video. I'm going to be doing a notable mentions list first, and then I will do a be doing a notable mentions list first, and then I'll do top 5. Okay, coming up on my notable mentions list, I will be saying the Duke of Death. The Duke of Death definitely made it on the notable mentions. It's not a must-own vehicle, but I want to say it's a great vehicle to own. And I say that because it's very fun. It's a good drifter. It can do wheelies, and it's a great drifting vehicle. Like look at this. I'm barely even trying, and I'm drifting out. And it's very fun. It's good at ramming. You know, it has this big bumper in the back. In the front. It's good at ramming, and the lights have shades. So if you turn them off, they have shades. It looks like they blink. And they have top lights to make them brighter. I'm sorry I'm making this video in the night, but the windows kind of give you some cover. It survives so many missiles. It can survive about 6 missiles from the Mark II. If a Mark II is coming up, it would take about 6 missiles from the Mark II to destroy it. So you might just get lucky, and if he happens to have like 5 missiles or 4 missiles before, because he was probably killing somebody else, then you might get lucky and survive, because it can survive about 6 missiles. 3 missiles if nobody's in it, but 6 missiles if somebody's in it. So it's a very useful vehicle, and I definitely want to put it on the notable mentions. It definitely made it on the notable mentions list. Again, it shouldn't be on all notable mentions lists. I was just saying that I feel like is pretty decent. Next up, the Tempesta. This is based off of a Lamborghini Huracan, and you can make it look like an STO. Like right here, it's very fast. The acceleration is crazy. That's the one thing that it's got going for it that I like most. Its acceleration is unbelievable. Look, I'm off. I am booking. Do you see that? Look, watch how good my acceleration is. That is crazy. That is nuts. And listen to this engine. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. Its top speed is undivisible. I'm driving on grass. But this is a good vehicle. You are, again, vulnerable to small arms fire. Because there's no cover or anything. It's just meant to be a very fast car. It's meant to be like a getaway car. You can even get out like your little AP pistol or a heavy revolver and stick out the window and shoot people. And you can even grab your own like little like pea shooter and shoot some people. It's really fun. I love it. It's a very good supercar. You can the double action revolver is pretty strong too, but it's not it's not the best. You can fire flare guns out of it. Mainly just all your pistols. You can't put any mini machine or SMGs out the window. You can only put pistols out the window. Still, you can carry out your heavy revolver. You use to hang. What the hell? A cave in the ground, and then you can easily just. But then again, that doesn't auto lock, so it's not the best for griefing. But if you are great at aiming, you can definitely have a good advantage because it's very fast. It's a very fast vehicle, so you definitely have a good advantage. Let me see what is this. Got him. Okay, let's head back to the garage because I have cops on me. It's good for getting away from the cops. It's very, it can maneuver. It's really good at dodging. You know, it can even dodge some missiles if you get lucky. That's how fast this thing is. If you get lucky, it can dodge some missiles. Just $1.3 million. The Duke of Death, however, that I just showed you is free. It doesn't even cost anything. But yeah, I definitely want to put that on the notable mentions list because it's just a very fast vehicle. You can get away from a lot of things. Not all the notable mentions cars are going to be in here because I don't believe that all these are the best cars I have. Next up on notable mentions list, I want to say is the Wagner. The Wagner is probably the best supercar and most underrated supercar in the game. Other than a boost car such as like the Vigilante or the Scramjet or the Torador or the you can even waste money on the Rocket Baltic. There was no way I was gonna put the Rocket Baltic on here. It might be on the worst. Actually, no. Let me rephrase. It will be on the worst. If you guys want to see me do a worst vehicle ever, then please let me know. Alright, so yeah, this is a very, very fast vehicle. See, look, I can spin out of control and still regain consciousness. Consciousness? Whatever. Please don't make fun of me. I can still regain control. There we go. Its acceleration is nuts, just like the last one. It's $1.5 million for this car. A Lamborghini Huracan, just like that one that I showed you, it's probably supposed to be around $250,000 or $300,000 Lamborghini. This looks like a $1.5 million car. For its price, it actually does look like that. But the Tempesta looks like a Huracan, but it's actually $1.3 million. When if you were to get in real life, it's almost $500,000. That is nuts. So this car is only $200,000 away from the Tempesta. So I think I think this car is faster, and the acceleration might be a tiny bit more nuts. So I honestly recommend saving your $200,000 on this car because it's faster, it looks better, and you know, it's cooler. Another vehicle on my notable mentions list is got to be out here. It's not in my garage at all. I will call up the mechanic and show you one of my #1 griefing vehicles, and I think this will be the last one on the notable mentions list until we get to the top 5 must-own vehicles.
What you need, boss? Some wheels?
You need a facility to own it. It's called the Kahangeli. Now, I've made a video about this car, about this tank. Right? It's really cool. I've made a video about this tank. It is over $3.8 million, about $4 million if you were to upgrade it fully. As you can see, it has my favorite weapon in the front, the railgun. No, probably not my favorite weapon. My favorite weapon might be the heavy revolver. As you can probably see, it's the gun that's being held on my social club icon. The lion holding the heavy revolver. Anyways, just if you like the heavy revolver, And if you think the heavy revolver should be my #1 gun, please type Hong in the comments. Anyways, I definitely recommend this tank more than the Rhino tank. First off, it has double the armor. Second, it's more modern, it has better acceleration, and it's only $2 million more. And if you think about it, you should only do about 3 KOs to get that. That's really not that bad. And so the Rhino tank, it costs $0 if you were to do Pegasus. It's a Pegasus vehicle, so it's not upgradable. Which this one is a personal vehicle, so you'd have to actually pay insurance if it gets destroyed. But you can customize it. You can make it how you like. You would make it yours. You can put kinetic grenade launcher. You can have a railgun cannon. You can have a machine gun as passenger. There's 2 back doors over here. That's to control the kinetic grenade launchers on the 2 sides of this rotating cannon. The rail gun in the front, the cannon, that's the main gun, obviously. But the machine gun behind it, that's the passenger one. There's that on the side. See, there's 2 doors, and they're both accessible. Which the Rhino tank, it's not accessible. If you're on a budget, maybe get the Rhino tank. If you're not on a budget and you have about $5 million, definitely get the Cangelie. And you're looking for a tank to just stomp some people, then definitely get this one because it's only about $4.5 million. You'd still be left with 500,000. So yeah, make sure you at least have some money left over doing this. But something you definitely don't want to get is the RC tank. I know this is a notable mentions list, and I shouldn't be mentioning this because it's a terrible vehicle. But I just want to say, if you're getting any tank, don't get this. There's only one thing it's got going for. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But it is so incredibly slow. It looks cute. It's tiny. It can jump. Yeah, this is one of my jumping vehicles, and it has a plasma turret. But as you can see, you can't go down and you can't go very far up. The cannon's terrible. It can spin all the way around, and it has the American flag behind it, and you can't die. You're bulletproof, so you can't die because the cops can't shoot you. You're bulletproof, but you're also not explosive proof, so that would have been really cool. But this is probably one of the worst tanks ever. No, let me rephrase it. But when I say worst tank ever, it's just not the best. I'm not saying it's a terrible tank, I'm just saying it's not the best. It's not terrible. It costs like $2.2 million, but you know, you have to control it with a little remote, and so you can get as a pea shooter. You can't actually use your own weapons if you would like. You have to actually buy a plasma turret for $300,000 that only does about +1 damage. That's it. That is ridiculous. That's stupid. So please don't buy the RC tank. If you got hundreds of millions of dollars, sure, go for it. You're never going to use it, though. You're never going to use it because it'll sit there, collect dust, because you have so much more stuff you'd rather play with. Coming up on top 5 must-own vehicles, and most of them are just because they're a lot of fun, and some of them are probably because they're useful. I'm going to start off number 5 with the Imperator. Yes, the Imperator. The Imperator is definitely going to make the top 5. And, actually, yeah. It just made the top 5. It can jump. It has a shunt. It has plasma turrets and a kinetic mortar. Yeah, you don't really get that a lot unless you buy the Izzy Classic. Then you get a kinetic mortar at the back. See, watch. You can watch 2 at a time. You get a wanted level mainly. You have laser. You have plasma turrets, so you can shoot lasers. jump and shoot lasers. You know, it's really, really fun. One main thing I love about this vehicle that most Arena War vehicles don't have is the spinning blade and the blades on the side. Like, for example, the Brutus, it's like the only one that has, it's almost the only one that has a spinning blade and rolling blade, like spinning blades and rolling blade. Other than like the ZR30. The ZR30 is basically the Imperator's twin. Like, it looks just like the Imperator. It has all the other features like the Imperator. It especially has the rolling blade in the front, and has the spinning blades in the back and the front. I mean, and the sides. You can easily get rid of Wano levels just because of because you're just one thing that sucks about this is it takes forever for you to get started. Oh, and one thing I forgot to show you about the Kanjali is that it had proximity mines. Yeah, it had land mines. Like, I mean, like regular proximity mines, like one that explode and can explode your car. Which these Arena War cars have effects. Like effects. They can't really explode your car. So like mine, I chose EMP. They turn your car off for 5 seconds. Really useful, right? Well, I'm gonna go up to the EMP. See, look. My car's not on. Yeah, there we go. It turned on. Oh, it went off again. So yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I like that feature that you can have. There's 5 different EMPs you can have. You can have kinetic, spike, EMP slick, or sticky. I chose EMP, and it's the most expensive one. And that's not the reason why I chose it. Sorry about that cut off. That's not the reason why I chose it. It's just because I knew what it did. So I was just like, okay, I'll buy it. But it's very expensive. It'll put a hole in my pocket and I won't like it. Coming up on number 4, I am going to say is the Bruiser. The Bruiser would have been behind the Cerberus, honestly. The Bruiser will definitely make top 5. Is number 4. It will make top 4. It's strong. It's not so expensive. It's on the cheap side of Arena War. Do I still hear proximity mines? Whatever. So yeah. It's a limo monster truck. It has crates in the back. It can lay land mines. It has a shunt boost. Since it's a very big vehicle, it can shunt pretty hard, like this. This vehicle can jump. I didn't have the money to buy jump once I bought this vehicle. To buy this vehicle, it's $200,000. To upgrade it to this monstrosity, it's $1.6 million. That is not that bad, but for pimps, that's when it starts to get pretty bad. This thing is over $2 million in pimps. Now keep this in mind, that when in my hand, when you're buying Arena War vehicles, you gotta keep in mind, they are so expensive. Like, the pimps are so expensive on Arena War cars. It's ridiculous. One of the most expensive cars in the game is Arena War, just because of how much you can pimp it. It's one of the most upgradable cars in the game. No, let me rephrase, it is. Uh-oh, I might die here. Oh, that was close. Yeah, I'm not doing a voiceover. I'm actually playing while talking on the mic. This vehicle can jump, I just didn't have the money. And the shunt is nuts. Like that. You can just launch everything. And landmine I chose was Spike. Now what Spike does, it pops your nearest tire. So if you're running like this, it'll pop. Oh wait, no, I did slick. Oh wait, I got confused with the Cerberus in this one. So yeah, I did slick. I did slick. Slick just, it makes your vehicle very slimy, and it makes it like very hard to move. Like you're very slippery. Yeah, if you get lucky, you can explode vehicles because of how much force you put into them. You just shove them into the wall and the car can't handle it. Do you know how hard it is to aim and shoot your target if you had a plasma gun on this? It would be crazy. I can't tell you like how hard it would be because of how separate they would be. If I go into the arena workshop, it would show you that the plasma turrets are so separate. It's crazy. It's just terrible. Don't buy the plasma turrets. Just don't. It's not worth the money. It puts a bit more armor onto your car. That's the only reason why I would buy it. But the plasma turrets are, there's no point. There's no point to put plasma turrets on your vehicle, like on this vehicle at least. But on something like the Izzy's plasma turrets are so straight. Like whatever you're aiming at, you're gonna shoot it unless you're in range, unless you're not in range, because they're so straight. They're so narrow. They're not so far apart. Like the plasma turrets on this one would literally be on separate sides of the vehicle. Which on the Izzy, they'd both be right next to each other, just two bees in a pod, and be sitting there shooting whatever you're targeting, unless it's not in range. Or something like the ZR380. I'm looking to get that vehicle soon. The plasma guns are very, very accurate. Like on the Imperator, I don't want to say that they're accurate because they're pretty spaced out. But on the ZR380, they're a bit more accurate. Something you don't want to spend on this vehicle, on plasma turrets, is the Cerberus. And I'm going to put this as top 3. Number 3 is definitely going to be the Cerberus. The Cerberus, I don't like just because it's new. It's just because it's really, really cool. Like, first off, let's get started on the flamethrower. Yeah, this fucker has a flamethrower. It's strong. It is the #1 biggest arena war vehicle in GTA 5. That's nuts. Like, truly, to think that you have a arena war vehicle big enough to literally take down an insurgent just from a hit is critical. It does get stuck easily, just like this, and it's pretty slow, but it handles really well for a truck. It's pretty fast for a truck. But what I want to say is that the jump is pretty impressive for a truck, and the shunt boost is nuts for this. He goes flying even after I shove him into a thing. Like, it even works on trucks. Like this huge 18-wheeler and versus the little garbage truck, it stands no chance. You can even shoot your flamethrower while you're in the air, and this thing does have landmines, so you can place it down. It'll pop your nearest tire. Yeah, this one is spike, but I have bulletproof tires, so joke's on you, big man. But here is its weakness. It can't go under narrow bridges. It's so tall, it can't even go under bridges. Like, narrow bridges. I mean, like, very, very, yeah, if you get lucky again. I don't even think lucky anymore is an option because of how big it is. Yeah, well, it's pretty frequent. the chances are, if you're next to a wall and you have a decent amount of speed, see, even there, I didn't even have a lot of speed, and I still did it. That's how powerful this thing is. But back to bridges. Yeah, I did 4 times in a row. Back to bridges. I did, if you go under a very narrow bridge, you are going to suffer the consequences of not, like, if you were chasing down somebody and they go under a bridge, they're gonna they're gonna twerk their ass in your face because they know you can't get under that bridge, and then you're gonna get out, pull out your railgun and just rage on them. But while you're in your Cerberus, your exhaust pipe is just stuck, and it's keeping you out. They're just gonna be twerking their ass in your face while they're just sitting there watching you struggle. Like, that's the one weakness the Cerberus has, is that it can't really dodge very narrow bridges. Like, even the light pole is pretty hard to dodge. If you had a low-headed one, it would be pretty difficult to dodge. But again, you can just see what I did this. Like, if I were to parachute down and my body hit it, it would have fell. Like, I'm talking about the light pole. And this thing can jump, and for what it's made of, for 38,000 pound vehicle, the jump is nuts. It must have some crazy power. Because that's a 38,000 pound truck we're looking at. Nuts. And if you were to go through full upgrades, you would need an extra $300,000 because you can do, if you were to fully pimp this, it's about 3 million maybe. 2.2 million to upgrade this, but it would be 2.5 if you wanted to have a passenger flamethrower in the back. You can get a large scoop. This is the largest scoop you can get. And yeah, the armor is really, really, really decent. So yeah, that's top 3. Number 2, we're starting to get into the big bucks. The Scramjet. Now we're getting into war stock. We're kind of reducing. This one doesn't have as many abilities as the Cerberus does, or the Bruiser, or something like the what is it? Something like the Bruiser or the Imperator or the Cerberus. It doesn't have as many abilities, but it's just such a blast to have. The Scramjet is such a blast. You can just jump and fly, and this is basically a flying car. I think that's why Rockstar put a jump on this car, because why would it be like that can't be a coincidence. Why would it be so lightweight? Yeah, it's like 1,000 pounds. This is only like half a ton. It's a convertible, and you can jump and boost. Doesn't really seem like a coincidence, does it? I think that's a little Easter egg. You would have to find out on your own. And if you own the Scramjet for a little while, you know that you can go, oh, you can just whoop, and just all sort of things like that. But one of my most favorite features about this is you can use any weapon you fucking want. Like, you can use a machine gun, a missile, or you can use even one of your pistols. Yeah, you can use. That's the only weakness, is that you can't carry an SMG, but you can shoot your heavy revolver out the window. You can stick your middle finger out the window of this car. Yeah, look. Let me just do that. I think it's because it's a convertible. Rockstar had to add that. I could stick my middle finger out the window. Well, see ya. I can stick my middle finger out the window while I'm hurling through the air. I have this and you don't. You know, you could just flex in their face, or you can just pull out your heavy revolver Mark II that you hang people with, and just go, hang. You know what I mean? But yeah, that definitely made top 2. The Scramjet, it definitely made top 2 overall. Great vehicle. Coming up on number 1, finally, the video's about to end. Coming up on number 1, I am declaring it, and it will always be true. The Vigilante, yes. This is number 1. I don't care about any of your crybaby comments. Hands down. It's been proven. It is my most favorite vehicle, and I want to say a must-own vehicle. It should be on any top 5 list. It should at least be on top 5. People who don't put this on top 5 lists, or don't think this is a useful vehicle at all, if it's not on top 5, if not top 3, then if not breast, like top 1. It's top 1. But one thing that I really love about this vehicle, it's fast, it's strong, it can nudge a car out of the way really quick. It's one of the best vehicles for heists. Yeah, you can even use this car in a heist, and you can take this car on a job, you know, like it's good for heists. Like, you can even use this DLC for heists. It's fast, it's strong, like you can nudge cars out of the way, and if you get lucky, you can nudge the cars in the wall so hard that they die, literally. I definitely wanted to mention that because it's a really, really, really fun vehicle, and it's definitely worth buying. For $3.7 million, 100% worth it. It's strong, it's durable, and it has missiles. One of my most favorite parts about this vehicle is that the missiles dodge obstacles. The missiles are the missiles have a mind of their own. You can literally have a car just sitting here and it would dodge an obstacle. Like see, it heads upwards. It will dodge obstacles. That is nuts. And the machine gun used to be crappy, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll admit it. That's a crappy vehicle. Like that's a crappy part of the vehicle. Not a crappy vehicle, but that's a crappy part of the vehicle. But let me just show you just how good it is now. Rockstar made an update, and look how good it is now. What? I thought it was better. What? Whatever. Oh wait, they caught on fire. Okay. But anyways, the machine gun is better, I think. The missiles can dodge obstacles, and yeah, you're very strong. You're not very vulnerable to small arms fire because of how fast you are. But you gotta be careful. If your blast radius hits yourself, then yeah, see, if your blast radius hits yourself, it's gonna damage you pretty well. Please be careful with that and use that in main hand when you're using this vehicle. And the missile tracking is so far and can go so high. It is nuts. It's crazy. It's one of the best vehicles for getting away or surviving missile damage or surviving, you know, small arms fire or griefing for that matter. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. That is top 5 best vehicles in GTA 5. At least in my opinion. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with this list? I'm curious. Do you guys agree with me on this list? Or do you think that one of the places should have been replaced? Or do you think all of them should have been replaced for that matter? But just please let me know, because y'all are saying this is a really terrible vehicle when I've had this vehicle for about a year and a half now. Ever since I just started GTA 5. like I started GTA 5 back on Christmas in 2021. I've come so far, and probably one of my first vehicles ever was the Vigilante, and it's definitely been my favorite through the end. It's gotten with me through the end. It's awesome. It's awesome. Like I'll definitely give it that. So yeah, that's top 5 best vehicles. Please let me know if you agree, and I will see you later.